Yet they went to Foursquare
Here in
Los Angeles.
oh, Amy McPherson.
Yeah, that's where they went.
Yeah.
And that's where they more or less got the revival fire of Pentecost and brought it to the Crow Nation back in the 27 and so forth. And Nellie Stewart was one of the pioneers of Pentecost. It happens that a lot of the pioneers were women.
Yeah.
So she was one of them. There's many of them that has come from there. And one of the first churches established churches, Pentecostal churches, was to Foursquare.
What year?
That was in 1961, 59, 60, around there. That was one of the first churches here in his original site. This is the original site.
The first church was really, the Foursquare started back towards Harding, over at Black Lodge. It's come out of Harding, that's where they started, the log house there. And then from there, they came down to, about a couple miles down here, another log house they stayed in. And then they came back by the river here, and then there was 1, 2, 3, 4 here, across the street. And this is the fifth one here, fifth church. And he's right, 1927 was when they went to Foursquare. And one lady's here named Mrs. Steen was a forerunner. She's the one that went to have Bible studies with a group of ladies, and then from that point on they started moving towards that. And one of the things that she did was actually they said Nellie Stewart was a big part of it. But, you know who started that? Lucy and Olhorn himself, the old man. Lucy Morrison Olhorn. She's the one big part of it. And what I got is a whole bunch of old papers here. I did some research. Yeah, did some research. And anyway, Lucy was the one who started that. And it's really interesting. When we built the church, this one really got me.
Is this a Foursquare?
Yeah, Foursquare denomination. One of the things that really got me in this is that when we got done building the church here, well, this is my wife, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Yeah, that's my boss.
That's your boss.
And then that's my son back there.
How you doing?
Kenny. But anyway, when we built the church, she kept talking about a lighthouse. He kept saying, why don't we change the name? Change the name to this. What we decided was Spirit of Life, Lighthouse for the Nation, Foursquare Church. But this is very interesting. Back in 1927, I know the women that went down to Los Angeles, they came back, and this is what they said. They said, it is necessary to return home. The Indians wanted to know about Foursquare Gospel, pleaded with her to send a couple from Angeles Temple to help them establish a Foursquare lighthouse. And I never knew that.
So help me again with the lighthouse, because so the first part of the lighthouse was what again? Not that stuff, but
the name of the church.
The name of this church was Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Before Pentecost, before the assemblies,
Yeah.
before
That's what they wanted.
before the Foursquare.
That's what they wanted. Well, they said Foursquare Lighthouse. That's what they said. Those are people that from here that went down there asking to send some to have a Foursquare Lighthouse. And I didn't know that. I didn't know about that until I started looking into all this, and then I found that. And I said, hey, that's prophetic. That's been a lot of years. And now it's coming to part.
So
but there's a lot of interesting articles on that.
It's Lighthouse.
Spirit of Life.
Meetings and all this other
Spirit
stuff.
of Life.
Spirit of Life. Spirit of Life. Lighthouse for the Nation. This is the name of the church.
Lighthouse for the Nation. Why do you call it Lighthouse for the Nation?
We want to be diverse and invite all the people around us, Indian, non-Indian, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had in mind when we started this, they used to call it Crow Foursquare Church. That's what they call it, Crow Foursquare Church. And I had some people come in and they came in and sat and listened to them and said, Is this what Crow's on? That click. I said, oh, no, we need to change that. This is a church for everybody.
Yeah.
And this is why we changed the name Spirit of Life, Foursquare Church. And have changed the switch.
And a lighthouse.
Yeah.
for-
And that lighthouse came in after we built this, after we built the church. And Hannah's the one who was suggesting that. And I don't know, she likes lighthouse, I don't know, for some reason. We live out here in the prairie and she likes the lighthouse.
I love it.
But anyway, she's the one who kept saying that, and I said, there's gotta be something behind that. And that's when we started naming it, that's when we changed the name of it. And a lot of times, you know about the Foursquare denomination.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, a lot of people don't know this, but it says up there in the Faith Chapel, Foursquare Church, but interdenominational.
Interdenominational, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Foursquare, and, open to a lot of things.
I've been to Angela's Temple so many times.
Yeah.
I take people to tours
Mhm.
of Angela's Temple. I love the Foursquare history.
Yeah.
I've been adopted. They put the Foursquare flag over me and adopted me into the Foursquare movement. Jesus, Savior, Healer, Baptizer, Son, Coming King, come on.
Yes.
And this is where, like I say, this is that title I was looking at.